This is the Cutting Edge on RFM, and next Wednesday, we're there with you. You know, so we are present a program here tonight where we are going to choreograph the program. I don't know how people choreograph program, but we are going to choreograph this program here, and then you're going to understand why we do what we do, and when you hear what we are doing, you will know.
America's faced with her worst domestic crisis since the Civil War, or since the Revolutionary War. For America now faces a race war. A race war is worse than a revolutionary war. A race war is worse than a civil war. A race war is a war in which no holes are barred. A race war is a war in which children are destroyed, in which children are mutilated, in which children face the same destructive wrath that grown-ups face. A race war is the worst war that you can conceive. And this war, race war that is coming upon the head of the white man is something that he is bringing down upon himself. The entire country is on the verge of erupting into racial violence and bloodshed. Simply because 20 million ex-slaves are demanding freedom, justice, and equality here in America from their former slave master. 20 million so-called Negroes, second-class citizens, seeking human dignity, seeking human rights, seeking the right to live in dignity as a human being. And rather than give genuine respect and recognition to your cry for human rights, the American white man answers your nonviolence with violence. He answers your prayers and your freedom songs with false promises, deceitful maneuvers, and outright bloodshed. According to what we are taught from the white man's textbooks and his schools, the Revolutionary War and the Civil War were two wars fought on American soil, supposedly for freedom and democracy. But if these two wars were really for the freedom and human dignity of all men, why are 20 million of our people still confined here in America and enslaved by second-class citizenship? Something is wrong. The truth is that the Revolutionary War was fought on American soil to free the American white man from the English white man. The Revolutionary War was never fought to provide freedom and democracy in this white country for the black man. Our people remain slaves here in America even after the Declaration of Independence was signed. In fact, most of the white founding fathers who signed the Declaration of Independence were nothing but slave owners themselves. It is sheer hypocrisy, sheer ignorance, sheer insanity for our people here in America to celebrate the 4th of July as Independence Day, while white America still denies us first-class citizenship that goes with an independent people. And it is nothing but hypocrisy for the American white man to pretend that the Revolutionary War was truly a war of independence as long as 20 million black people here in America are denied the privileges of an independent people. Don't let the white man fool you. Don't let the white man smile at you and lull you to sleep. Behind that smile is a vicious heart. Behind those teeth is an animal-like beast who doesn't have it within him to want for you what he wants for himself and his own kind. Don't let that man fool you. When you look at that man, you're supposed to see him for exactly what he is. And if you want to know what he is, examine his deeds. Forget his words. He got a whole lot of pretty sounding words. Watch his deeds. His deeds are like the deeds of a snake, the deeds of a dragon, the deeds of a reptile, the deeds of a beast. Why, nothing but a race of beasts would take dogs and stick them on little black babies. Nothing but a race of beasts will stick dogs on black children and black women. Nothing but a race of beasts. And it is these deeds today that's causing the wrath of God to come down upon the head of the white man. And when you see him as he is and see how much hell he's catching, you're out of his mind to want to be with him. You're out of his mind to want to, you're out of your mind to want to integrate with him. And you're really out of your mind if you take time to forgive him and ask God to have mercy on him. No, ask God to judge him. Ask God to do unto him as he has done unto you.
Continent with Mutabaruka. We are listening to our meds. You know here. Continent. The end. The end.
The National Urban League has recently published its annual report on the state of Black America. The League is one of the oldest research organizations in the Black community, documenting the levels of national oppression and economic exploitation. Its first report was released back in 1976, and it was titled Locked Out, A Message to the Next President, documenting the political and economic struggles that blacks faced at the hands of those who were in the White House and on Wall Street. RT correspondent Ashley Banks gives us insight into what's revealed in the 2016 report.
African Americans remain oppressed and locked out in the U.S. Now, that's according to the National Urban League's recent findings in its annual report on the state of Black America. In 1976, the League released Locked Out, Education, Jobs, and Justice, a message to the next president, which provided evidence to suggest African Americans remain oppressed in the U.S. Now, here we are, 40 years later, and despite the fact the first African American president was elected in 2008 and again in 2012, the fundamental problems facing the black population are still unresolved, 151 years after slavery was abolished. The League says overall, African Americans do not have full equality, but only 72% of what whites possess. According to the report, there hasn't been much progress towards economic equality. The black unemployment rate is still twice the rate for whites. Compared to 40 years ago, the income gap has remained unchanged, resting at 60%, and the home ownership rate gap has grown 6%, now standing at 59%. Now, on the other hand, there has been slow progress in reducing the black poverty rate. According to the most recent estimates, the black poverty rate is now 2.4% lower than in 1976. And the League also stated over 1/4 of the African American population remains poverty-stricken. The worst state in the U.S. for African American unemployment is Illinois. More specifically, in the city of Chicago, a lot of African Americans are faced with poverty, inequality, and joblessness, giving way to why crime is so high in the city. The Economic Policy Institute conducted a study during the first quarter of 2016. The unemployment rate among blacks living in Illinois was 14.1%. Now that's up from 13.1% during the fourth quarter of 2015. Which was the nation's worst African American unemployment rate. The League's report also provides data that takes a critical look at the lack of progress made during 2 terms of the Obama administration. In 2008 and 2012, African Americans voted overwhelmingly for President Obama, securing his 2 terms in office. The League suggests no matter who is elected to the White House and Congress for 2017, the oppression and exploitation will not go away. In Washington, Ashley Banks, RT.
All of this is racism. But the new racism is to make it look like there is no racism. The new racism is to make it look like there is no racism. That's why Obama was made president. He said he was fighting for a change we can believe in. And that's exactly what you got. Michael Brown, a change you can believe in. Trayvon Martin, a change you can believe in. Worst unemployment rate for black folk in over 30 years, a change you can believe in. Highest dropout rate since the first Bush, a change you can believe in. Because you don't understand white supremacy. You thought voting for Obama meant a change in the American power structure's relationship with the black community. Are you crazy? A change you can believe in. And the saddest thing, what really bothers me about President Obama, he did nothing for black children this whole time he was in office. LGBTQ, gave them landmark registration laws. Gay folk got more progress in 5 years under Obama than black folk got in 500. Illegal immigrants, landmark legislation. Latino, landmark legislation. White women, Equal Pay Act. What did black folks get? Nothing. Just what you deserve. Nothing. Because you don't fall in love with politicians. Big mistake we made. I called it 8 years ago. When Obama get out of office, we're going to be worse off than when he went in because you fallen in love with a politician. That's ignorance. I hope we learned our lesson. You don't fall in love with elected officials. You come to agreements with elected officials, with money and voting power. That's what you do. You use them like they use you. But black folks, politically ignorant as we are, turned it into a religious thing. Voting for Obama became a religious movement. Pastors all across America talking about, yeah, God predicted this. God sent Obama. In the mosque, God sent Obama. I'm tired of it, quite honestly, because we keep letting white folk outthink us. We just keep on letting. They're going to do it again. They say you Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. You go floating again. Question is, when do we learn from it and start changing our political behavior? Well, first of all, you can't change your politics until you change your spending habits. Boom. As long as we remain conspicuous consumers, we will get nothing. Votes do not control money. Money controls votes. If you ain't got no money, you ain't going to get nothing done by the people in office. Pow. I don't care if their name is Obama, Bush, Hillary Clinton, or whoever else.
This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. You're listening to what we call a choreographed version of Cutting Edge. I want you to listen to the next clip where we're going to play. The power of science and technology is unbelievable when you hear this. When you hear this, you know say science and technology is unbelievable.
Mr. Speaker, Vice President Cheney, members of Congress, distinguished citizens and fellow citizens. Every year, by law and by custom, we meet here to threaten the world. The American flag stands for corporate scandals, recession, stock market declines, blackmail, terror, burning with hot irons, dripping acid on the skin, mutilation with electric drills, cutting out tongues, and rape. Our first goal is to show utter contempt for the environment. I have sent you a comprehensive energy plan to devastate communities, kill wildlife, and burn away millions of acres of treasured forests. This government is taking unprecedented measures to protect our people and defend our homeland. We've begun inoculating troops and first responders against ballistic airports. And this year, for the first time, we must offer every child in America 3 nuclear missiles. To date, we have arrested or otherwise dealt with 400 billion key commanders of al-Qaeda, which is enlisting tens of thousands of new volunteers across America. They include a man who directed logistics and funding for the CIA. One of them is found at the Department of Defense. One by one, the terrorists are learning we are building a culture to encourage international terrorism. Almost 3 months ago, the United Nations Security Council gave Saddam Hussein his final chance to disarm. The British government has learned that Saddam Hussein recently had an advanced nuclear program chemical in his arsenal, even while inspectors were in his country. Our intelligence sources tell us that he has attempted to purchase 7 million hydrogen-powered doctors and the western wall of the Pentagon. The United States will ask the UN Security Council to convene on February the 5th to consider the facts of Iraq's ongoing defiance of the world. Secretary of State Powell will plant information to incite fear about Iraq's links to terrorist groups. And tonight I have a message for the people of Iraq. Go home and die. Trusting in the sanity and restraint of the United States is not a strategy, and it is not an option.
This is the cutting edge on IRFM. As I said, the power of science and technology is unbelievable. Continue the journey. The message is in the plane of this computer here tonight. You know what's with there? Lady Smith, Black Mombasa. Black is beautiful. This is the cutting edge on IRFM. We're going through, sending the message. Musically, speechically, and all the other color them you can find. You know, so we make a tune here. The next tune we're going to play, we make it from in the 80s. Yeah, I think it's the third album we put it on. First, second, the fourth album we do. We put this tune upon it from late 80s. This is the cutting edge on IRFM.
Not have I spoken lies. Not have I wasted food. Not have I afflicted any. Not have I wasted my seed. Not have I made to weep. Not have I eaten my heart. Not have I transgressed. Not have I acted deceitfully. Not have I desolated the plowed land. Not have I been an eavesdropper. Not have I set my mouth in motion against any man. Not have I raged except with a cause. Not have I defiled the wife of a man. Not have I defiled the husband of a woman. Not have I polluted myself. Not have I caused terror. Not have I committed offense. Not have I inflamed myself with rage. Not have I made myself deaf to the words of right and truth. Not have I caused grief. Not have I acted insolently. Not have I stirred up strife. Not have I judged hastily. Not have I been an eavesdropper. Not have I spoken overmuch. Not have I harmed. Not have I done evil. Not have I cursed the king. Not have I fouled water. Not have I made my voice haughty. Not have I cursed the Creator. Not have I committed theft. Not have I defrauded the offerings of interview. Not have I carried off the offerings from the beatified one. Not have I wasted food of the infant. Not have I sinned against the interrer of the town. Not have I slaughtered animals. These 42 oracles of Ma'at were the basis from which Moses received the 10 Commandments when he went to school in the temples of Anu, in the Kemetic nation of Tawi, in the Nile Valley, in the land now miscalled Egypt.
Here's the reality. The image of a white Jesus has been used to justify enslavement, conquest, colonialism, the genocide of indigenous peoples. There are literally millions of human beings whose lives have been snuffed out by people who conquered under the banner of a white God. That is a far more significant problem than whether a black writer in 2013 suggests somewhat humorously, but perhaps seriously, that we should change Santa to a penguin. No one's going to die because of that iconography. The white Jesus, white God imagery has literally resulted in death. That's something folks ought to deal with. What Megyn Kelly said was very simply, quote, Santa is white, end of quote, and so is Jesus. So I think the real issue is, if you want to make a joke about Santa's whiteness, here's a way to do it that would not presume white normalcy or that white is the norm. You could say, for instance, and I would, that if there were Santa, he'd have to be white because no black man could break into millions of homes even if he was bearing presents and not be shot by some neighborhood watch captain. That's a way to be funny, but Fox News would would never do that because that would presume that they had to admit racial profiling and racism were real. So there's that. I think the real issue is that she made a statement of fact, not for her own opinion, but fact. There's a difference between believing in Santa and believing in Jesus or the Buddha. Buddha did not come from Kansas. Jesus was not born in a manger in central Pennsylvania. He was a man of color, and the fact that we have represented him for centuries, literally as a white man, speaks to the entire history of white supremacy. We can act like it didn't happen. We can make it the punchline of a joke, but the reality is this iconography, Jesus more so than Santa, I agree with Mel here, Jesus more so than Santa is a real problem. There's a reason we've represented these icons as white. It's not a coincidence that we've done that.
Okay, do you think there's something inherently wrong? I understand you saying that a white Jesus has been used to do horrible things, but
here's the difference, and Reza is right. No, Reza's right, but the difference is that the power of others to make Jesus or to make Christ as they view him has never come close to the power of the European power to make Jesus white. In other words, black folks can think Jesus is black and view Christ as black, but at the end of the day, the image that has been used to dominate Christianity in this world and on this planet is the white image. So therefore, you can believe, you can think Jesus looks like whatever you want or that Christ looks like whatever you want. Ultimately, though, there is such a thing as power, and it's not equitable. And so if certain people have been able to impose their image of the Christ, of the Savior on others, or God, or Adam and Eve, the first human beings ostensibly as white people, to believe that that doesn't have an effect is to believe that advertising doesn't have an effect. It's to believe that companies that spend billions of dollars don't actually sell you stuff based on the images they use, which is nonsense.
This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. This is what you call protest cutting edge. Protest cutting edge this. You know the way there. We are observe we are going in America. Or, you know, we see them have a second female prime minister of England. Them just swear her in today. She go meet the Queen and, you know, them way they get her blessings and them way there. Next, she named me. The first female prime minister was Margaret Thatcher. Female prime minister. So you have a female running America, so maybe that look good for Hillary Clinton, you know. Yeah, that look good for her, that female over there, so her most favorite partner in crime, America's partner in crime, based off of where we show you last week about the Iraq inquiry, where them are show you say, under false pretense, Tony Blair send England go to war and kill a lot of their children, defending a cause that was no cause at all. So we say the rumbling and the bumbling were going on in America right now. Don't know how it's going to turn out, but we have to take sleep and mark that. Yes.
I'm not a politician, not even a student of politics. In fact, I'm not a student of much of anything. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I don't even consider myself an American. If you and I were Americans, there'd be no problem. Those hunkies that just got off the boat, they're already Americans. The Polacks are already Americans. The Italian refugees are already Americans. Everything that came out of Europe, everything, every blue-eyed thing is already in America. And as long as you've been over here, as long as you and I have been over here, we aren't Americans yet. Well, I am one who doesn't believe in deluding myself. I'm not going to sit at your table and watch you eat with nothing on my plate and call myself a diner. Sitting at the table doesn't make you a diner. You must be eating some of what's on that table. America doesn't make you an American. Being born here in America doesn't make you an American. Why, if birth made you American, you wouldn't need any legislation. You wouldn't need any amendments to the Constitution. You wouldn't be faced with civil rights filibustering in Washington, D.C. right now. They don't have to pass civil rights legislation to make a pull-out in America. No, I'm not an American. I'm one of the 22 million black people who are the victims of Americanism. One of the 22 million black people who are the victims of democracy. Nothing but disguised hypocrisy. So I'm not standing here speaking to you as an American or a patriot or a flag saluter or a flag waver. No, not I. I'm speaking as a victim of this American system. And I see America through the eyes of a victim. I don't see any American dream. I see an American nightmare.
You know, listening to Malcolm X, we played two speeches by Malcolm X so far, and them feature was made in the 60s. Yeah, late in the 60s. Them speech was made by Malcolm X. And one would, after so long, if you listen to what him I say, him could have just said the same thing right now on a pulpit in Washington or New York or California anyway. And it's still relevant. Because when them say we the people in America, it never I deal with the founding fathers of America who write those constitutions and say we the people is guaranteed certain things. It's not black people in that talk. Because black people couldn't vote in them days. Black people was seen as a part of a human being. A part of a human being. They never see as a whole human being in America. In the 60s, when me I got school, them have toilet for black people and toilet for white people. And if a black man go in the white toilet, them gonna lynch him. A black man was lynched because him look pan a white woman clothes pan the line. She hung out her clothes them. And him a pass and look pan it and them lynch him. Now, people say them think they're a long time thing. It's not a long time thing because we are going right now. If it was a long time thing, we are going in America now, would not go on if them did deal with the problem from them time there. But I guess 8 years of a black president in the White House get the black people them complacent, and that is what them did want. That is why Obama was placed there. Pacify the struggle, the revolutionary spirit of the people them who still a cry out, still a yearn for freedom. Because anywhere you go, where you have police, in a Jamaica, them use some little youth. Some youth who can't get no work, and them say them can't join the police force or join soldier. Them use the youth them against the youth them in a Jamaica, claiming say them are uphold and maintain the law. The police force in Jamaica was formed to suppress any form of insurrection. The police force was formed after the Morant Bay Rebellion. Because they never want that to happen again in Jamaica. So them set up a thing named the police force. A force it name, you know. police force. And from that time until now, the police force has been a thorn in the side of poor people in Jamaica. Thorn. Everywhere you turn it, juke you. And those laws against black people manifest itself in Jamaica. And it is carried out by black people who put on uniform of brutality and oppress them own people. And the people them who make the law recognize how important it is. That if them is not there, they must have something in place to maintain that white supremacy that control the Western world. And when we look and see how them people can't understand that is, watch a man, how them have to hate and racism. How racism come up in this? Why them talk about the youth them Black Lives Matter is a, I hear drill and it says is innately racist. Why every time black people feel pain and react to the pain that is caused by a system that maintains white supremacy, why is it that we now call it reverse racism? Before you look into the problem, why it happened? You turn around and want to say, people are get violent. Violence has been always going on against black people ever since them take away half of the land of our forefathers and bring us on to this part of the world. We have lived in violence continuously. Physical violence and spiritual violence. Them give you a government and them give you a religion that corrupt with heart and corrupt with mind continuously. And them deceive we and make you feel say what we're doing is of our own accord. Not recognizing that it is like them place a microchip in a way. A mental microchip implanted in a black people. That black people cannot get up and defend white supremacy. Black people stand up and defend white supremacy against black nationalism, against black people who are say Africa, against black people who are say Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X. Them defend white supremacy. And you sit down, I sit down, I don't know about the next one, I sit down and I say, why them can't get it? Say it's not it. It's not it. It's a reaction to an action. And them still don't get an equal amount of reaction about the action. But them just can't get it. Them can't get it. Them can't feel it. Them say it's it. You eat. You want more eat than we're going for 400 years of our domicile here on these farmer slave plantation islands and these places that them call America and England. The labor of our ancestors built England. The wealth of England was based up off of Jamaican sugar cane. The Beckfords, as we have allowed you to hear time and time again. One of the richest men, if not the richest man in Europe, was a gay guy living in Jamaica and get so wealthy off of sugar cane and slavery that he could have declared himself the richest man in England and Europe. Why is it that when we say black, them say it's anti-white? What is it? What is it with these people thinking? If you say black, Them say, yes, see, they know I'm a ton racist. How the hell you can be racist? What is it? How can I be a racist when I cannot decide your well-being politically, religiously, economically, socially? I cannot decide that. I can't decide that in England. I can't decide that in America as a black person. So how can I be a racist? Racism is power. Racism is what one race uses against another race to deal with the power, economical power, wealth power, religious power, all the powers them that human beings use to rise above the normal. When you can assert that power against another race and make a difference in the socio-political, economical structure of a next race, then you can talk about racism. But I don't say how you react to someone or a group of one's action against you, whether shout it out or physically reaction. You start to bawl out, say, these people is creating animosity. The animosity was there all the while, and you never look upon it. You never look upon it. So if you never look upon it, what do you expect? Black people who are fight for them freedom become racist. Why black people now fight against other races? Because them never have that oppressive element amongst them in history. The immediate attention right now is what is happening and how we can find a ground now to rectify the situation, because it has to solve. You think, say, every day you carry go bucket, go well, one day the bucket bottom now go drop out. The Arab them come and them abuse way. White people come and abuse way. Inculcate some things in our head that we now start abuse ourselves. And we don't even recognize that we abuse ourselves. Because we feel it's a normal action. Look on the murder and the killing we are going in Jamaica. A man still talk about him a pray to white God to move the oppression. The little youth Sizzler say, white man God can't save you from white man oppression. And every time something terrible happens to you, we turn to this God. And every time we pray, things get worse. Worse it gets. The more prayer, the worse the master lick we and beat we. In the name of the Lord. Slaves, be obedient to your master. It said that in the Bible. In the Bible it said that. Slaves, be obedient to your master. How can I, as a one who has come out of such savagery, can read that and see that and recognize that as my saving book? Where we are go from here, sir? Because we see the crime in Jamaica, and we see man ball out about divine intervention, and I go prayer can't help we. Or you know, if prayer cannot help, we wouldn't get into the problem in the first place, because a long time black people are prayer. Black people are prayer before the crime get wicked in Jamaica. And the crime get wicked in Jamaica. And them still are prayer. How can you be doing the same thing the same way all the while and expect to get a different result? Because we don't take our humanity in our hands and recognize our divinity in that humanity. We want to solve a problem that is not of anyone doing that is invisible, but is the visible that is doing it. So we have to turn to the visible and recognize visibility. And our consciousness can move us and drive it to a different path. But first we have to recognize who we are as a people. And what is being done to us as a people. Because them have we are sing and a dance. Culture, them say that is. Most of we don't know say culture is gone beyond singing and dancing. Most of we don't really understand culture. The highest discipline in any, what them call, study. Culture. Everything, every other discipline come out of culture. When we are talking about disciplines now, we are talking about where you go study at university or school. Sociology, anthropology, archaeology, religion, economics, politics. All of them derive from culture. Because it is the cultural experience of a people that develop things to sustain the people in the community or in the group. So when there was no religion, man, I tried to figure out what is it, what is not, and then come up with a religion. Anthropology is the study of a people inside of them environment. And instead of to study the people inside of them environment, culture must come from that. Politicians don't understand culture, that's why they can't govern the people. Them use a European philosophy and idea from England. And instead of them look into it, instead of them look into that philosophy and say, all right, this work for England, this not going to work for we. We come from Africa, them they are England. So for them understanding of this must be different from we. So we have to go rectify that. No! The so-called founding father just take slam bam, we go on to England and bring it come down here so and say, this have to work for the African them down here so. And it's not working. And them don't recognize that. Them don't recognize that them need to analyze and study Africa before the Europeans go to Africa. What were the Africans doing in Africa before Europeans got there? We had a civilization. We have a culture. We have a family structure that get broke down when it reaches us. That right now, man, a ball say the reason why this is because father not in the house. Father not in the house because the system set away that the father can't in the house. The father get corrupted by the system. So no father not in the house now. And the people them get wild on the road. Because of the system. Because our family structure. From even the religion, you can't see the family structure broke down. God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost. Them turn the woman in a duppy. Them turn the woman in a ghost. Them negate and kneel out the female part of that family. We're supposed to be a divine family. And we did have a family long before we come here. Osiris, Horus, and Isis. God the Father, God the Mother, and God the Child. Those three entities have a divinity in them, through them humanity. And we understand that. But guess what? We come on here so and lose them thinking there. Them put me in the sky. Them make cross the neck. And we cross the neck, the emblem of suffering and shame. Before we put crown on our head, we have put cross on the neck. Them kill a man and put the Roman way of killing people, thieves, and people who them try for treason and sedition, is to put them on a cross. Them have black people who wear cross on them neck. The emblem of suffering and shame. When we did have glorious symbols and recognize great symbols that carry us through. But we get rid of that. Because them put it in our head. Say, anything African, a wicked, pagan, devil, satanic thing. and anything Christian is the glory of God it are defined. And then when we look on the world today, when we look on the earth today, the Western world especially, most of the war that has been fought was fought in the name of religion. Religion is the perpetuator of death and destruction in the Western world. But we intend to liberate ourselves in these religions. It's not going to work. We have to make a paradigm shift. We have to shift the thing. We have to move the thing. Because it's not going to work. It never worked for our ancestors. It never worked for our grandmother. And it now work for our mother. And it now going to work for we. Nor my children. Nor my children's children. We have to make a different move. Why them can't get it? Why them can't realize it's not it? It's a reaction to an action. It's not it. It's not a drive where we say a go on. Black people know do certain things. Leave them alone in their own environment. Them is at peace with nature. In peace with nature. Black people don't create religion. Them way of life is enough to sustain them in them environment. Africans never fight religious wars. There's no religious wars until the invaders step into Africa. When the Arabs come in Africa, when the white man come in Africa. And these two, like we are going to Sudan now, South Sudan, Christian, Sudan, Islam. And them have their black people, them, a fight between Christianity and Islam, a fight in Sudan, a kill off one another in the name of either Allah or Christ, God. Black people in their habitat was never fighting about religion. There's no serious historical reference where Africans kill one another because of religion. Until the Arabs and the Europeans go into Africa and inculcate some serious forced, just like how them forced if you accept Jesus. Beat way and say we must what? Praise God. We don't want to mix with those heathen gods, those heathens. We must recognize that the only name that man can be saved is in the name of Jesus. Yet still, every time we call upon it, we suffer more. We suffer more as a people, as a group. Show me one country in the world that you can say, that country is a Christian nation and we must emulate that country. One country. Because there's none. And through them know that there's none. Them say, wait till you're dead, man, and you go up now heaven, everything all right. Sell your olo. All of them are sell away. So, why them can't get it? Why them can't get it, say, it's not it, a drive whatsoever go on. Why them can't get it, say, it's a reaction to an action. And them know say it exists, you know. Them know say it exists, but them can't admit it. Because if them admit it, them are going to say white supremacy crumble. The conservative white people not going to get it. That's why Trump is such a popular man in America. Because he's an actor where Hillary think what now I go say. But when she gets in her power, she do what she knows she do. Because a whole heap of the activities were going as in our time of foreign, wait them to foreign secretary to the Obama regime there. She instigated that. We said that already last week. The war going on in Syria now. And she instigated that. The killing of Gaddafi. She did agree with the Iraq thing. It's a weird thing. And them killing black people in America, left to right. It's like lynching come all over again, but instead of them are lynching by rope, now them use the gun. Why them can't get it? That is not it. It's not it. It's not it a drive we are going. It's an action. And then a reaction. And them have to understand that. But then again, if them understand it, them are going to try to do something about it, and then white supremacy will not maintain itself. Because you have to maintain white supremacy through a system, through a process. And black people don't understand how them get with them there. Most black people don't understand how we reach over there, how we reach over there. Because even in Jamaica, you have a group of politicians in Jamaica where all them know in terms of governance is where white people bring command and so. And they will never study civilizations in Africa. These politicians, we can sit down with any politician in Jamaica and show them say, you never, whether on their school, whether by yourself, just try look for knowledge, never sit down and study the civilizations of Africa and how Europe underdeveloped Africa. Europe underdeveloped Africa. That's now people are talking about. It's a lucky thing we come here, so all right, we don't run up and down in a jungle and all sort of madness. All sort of madness. When we give the world the first university, all them Pythagoras theorem where we learn at school. In Egypt, Pythagoras today study these things. Alexander the Greek, where them call Alexander the Great. Egypt him go and take the book them at Alexandria, burn up and carry go back to Greece. And then you say Greece is the center of philosophy. Pluto, Homer, Socrates, all of these people. And then when we have the pyramids, you hear them say some alien come build it. True, them no want to recognize that black people did have a sensibility of science and technology. And Europe come in, the Arab come in, the Europe come in and devastate it. And now we're at the bottom. We're at the bottom. And we can't recognize it because we love it. A whole heap of we love the bottom of the pit. You think we don't love it? Look out there every day and you see say, we don't love it. We don't go ball and go like say we don't love it. But wait till them see some little bling bling will come from Japan or China and see how quick we jump to it. Because them say, they might give you some cheap thing, mass produced production thing and give it. And it's cheap. And we just love it. And the food where we eat. The way we have sex now. It's a combination of things, a multiplicity of things that have we. And when you hear a man say, what, me African? He say, me I don't know Africa, me never come from Africa, me no born Africa, me a Jamaican. And you say it proud. I not tell you not to get proud of Jamaican, but that don't negate you being African. Saying he's a Jamaican don't negate say he's African. It's a madness. It's a madness. Which part you think the white people them will control America come from? Which part the ancestors come from? A Europe. A Native American them kill off and murder and take away the land from the people them and push them from reservation. Europe them come from a run from religious persecution from them own people. White people kill white people more than all them talk about black people kill black people. I hear about black and black violence. Black and black violence exists. And black violence exists. And we are talking about America now. Black and black violence exists because the system of America is stacked against black people as a community, not as an individual. Because individuals in America turn millionaire. Because so the system set up. But as a community, as a group, as a nation of people, them still at the bottom, as Cantor we just mentioned a while ago. So it's a serious thing. Serious thing.
Don't blame it on me when you see it. The next thing you'll see here in America, and please don't blame it on me when you see it. You will see the same things that have taken place among other people on this earth whose condition was parallel to that of the 22 million Afro-Americans in this country. The people of China grew tired of their oppressors, and the people rose up against their oppressors. They didn't rise up non-violently. It was easy to talk about the odds were against them, but 11 of them started out. And today those 11 control 800 million. They would have been told back then that the odds were against them. As the oppressor always points out to the oppressed, the odds are against you. When Castro was up in the mountains of Cuba, they told him the odds were against him. Today he's sitting in Havana, and all the power that this country has can't remove him. They told the Algerians the same thing. What do you have to fight with? Today they have to bow down to Ben Bella. He came out of the jail that they put him in, and today they have to negotiate with him. Because he knew that the one thing he had on his side was truth and time. The time is on the side of the oppressed today. It's against the oppressor. And truth is on the side of the oppressed today. It's against the oppressor. You don't need anything else.
Yes, Nina Simone and Miriam Makeba shall be released, written by a white man named Bob Dylan. Okay, so here we are now. We're going to play about this thing here, you know. Yeah, because we have to make you hear it continuously. And these are statistics. No, not long-time statistics. These are statistics that was done this year.
The National Urban League has recently published its annual report on the state of Black America. The League is one of the oldest research organizations in the Black community, documenting the levels of national oppression and economic exploitation. Its first report was released back in 1976, and it was titled Locked Out, A Message to the Next President, documenting the political and economic struggles that blacks faced at the hands of those who were in the White House and on Wall Street. RT correspondent Ashley Banks gives us insight into what's revealed in the 2016 report.
African Americans remain oppressed and locked out in the U.S. Now, that's according to the National Urban League's recent findings in its annual report on the state of Black America. In 1976, the League released Locked Out, Education, Jobs, and Justice, a message to the next president, which provided evidence to suggest African Americans remain oppressed in the U.S. Now, here we are 40 years later, and despite the fact the first African American president was elected in 2008 and again in 2012, the fundamental problems facing the black population are still unresolved, 151 years after slavery was abolished. The League says overall, African Americans do not have full equality, but only 72% of what whites possess. According to the report, there hasn't been much progress towards economic equality. The black unemployment rate is still twice the rate for whites. Compared to 40 years ago, the income gap has remained unchanged, resting at 60%. And the home ownership rate gap has grown 6%, now standing at 59%. Now, on the other hand, there has been slow progress in reducing the black poverty rate. According to the most recent estimates, the black poverty rate is now 2.4% lower than in 1976. And the league also stated over 1/4 of the African-American population remains poverty-stricken. The worst state in the U.S. for African-American unemployment is Illinois. More specifically, in the city of Chicago, a lot of African Americans are faced with poverty, inequality, and joblessness, giving way to why crime is so high in the city. The Economic Policy Institute conducted a study during the first quarter of 2016. The unemployment rate among blacks living in Illinois was 14.1%. Now that's up from 13.1% during the fourth quarter of 2015. Which was the nation's worst African-American unemployment rate. The league's report also provides data that takes a critical look at the lack of progress made during 2 terms of the Obama administration. In 2008 and 2012, African-Americans voted overwhelmingly for President Obama, securing his 2 terms in office. The league suggests no matter who is elected to the White House and Congress for 2017, the oppression and exploitation will not go away. In Washington, Ashley Banks, RT.
All of this is racism. But the new racism is to make it look like there is no racism. The new racism is to make it look like there is no racism. That's why Obama was made president. He said he was fighting for a change we can believe in. And that's exactly what you got. Michael Brown, a change you can believe in. Trayvon Martin, a change you can believe in. Worst unemployment rate for black folk in over 30 years. A change you can believe in. Highest dropout rate since the first Bush. A change you can believe in. Because you don't understand white supremacy. You thought voting for Obama meant a change in the American power structure's relationship with the black community. Are you crazy? A change you can believe in. And the saddest thing, what really bothers me about President Obama, he did nothing for black children this whole time he was in office. LGBTQ, gave them landmark registration laws. Gay folk got more progress in 5 years under Obama than black folk got in 500. Illegal immigrants, landmark legislation. Latino, landmark legislation. White women, equal pay act. What did black folks get? Nothing. Just what you deserve. Nothing. Because you don't fall in love with politicians. Big mistake we made. I called it 8 years ago. When Obama get out of office, we're going to be worse off than when he went in because you fallen in love with a politician. That's ignorance. I hope we learned our lesson. You don't fall in love with elected officials. You come to agreements with elected officials, with money and voting power. That's what you do. You use them like they use you. But black folks, politically ignorant as we are, turned it into a religious thing. Voting for Obama became a religious movement. Pastors all across America talking about, yeah, God predicted this. God sent Obama. In the mosque, God sent Obama. I'm tired of it, quite honestly, because we keep letting white folk outthink us. We just keep on letting them. They're going to do it again. They say you Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. You go floating again. Question is, when do we learn from it and start changing our political behavior? Well, first of all, you can't change your politics until you change your spending habits. Boom. As long as we remain conspicuous consumers, we will get nothing. Votes do not control money. Money controls votes. If you ain't got no money, you ain't going to get nothing done by the people in office. Pow. I don't care if their name is Obama, Bush, Hillary Clinton, or whoever else.
That was Omar Johnson. Will be here on the 21st of August to celebrate with us the Marcus Garvey celebration right here at IRFM. Omar Johnson will be here. So I want you to look out for that. The same version here I talked there a while ago. He will be here. Louis Farrakhan again. We're going to play Louis Farrakhan again. Louis Farrakhan, the man who have a Jamaican connection. His father is a Jamaican. His mother, I think, come from Grenada. I would go. Grenada, I send kids. Anyway, one of them. I'm not far from it. But you know, as we say, we're going to take a call. Yell.
Yell Muta.
Wait, are you one? As we say, we're going to take a call.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, Farrakhan mother come from St. Kitts. His Malcolm X mother come from Grenada. Yeah.
All right, wait. You know, so I have to question you today, though. I have to question you. All right. Oh, wait, the Prime Minister today.
Theresa May.
Yeah. She was in line with the BRICS exit thing. She did agree with it.
No. She voted to remain.
But she elected somebody who was voted to come out. Not so.
Yes, in terms of, in our new cabinet.
Yeah, she elected somebody who didn't say that.
Yes, Boris, she have the boy, Boris Johnson, as the foreign secretary. The one who with Farage, the other racists, they create problem and then resign, and then Boris him who get covered when Gove decide to run against him, say him no fit and thing, you know. Yeah. So she bring him in. So, but you see the thing about it.
No,
Theresa.
All right, go on. Tell me about Theresa. Tell me about her.
Theresa May. Her father was a Anglican vicar, you know. Right? That's a thing with her too. And she's someone who fight against minimum wages for workers, you know. She fight against minimum, against workers' rights and them thing there.
Okay.
And the next thing that
she's a straight up conservative.
That have a lot of effect.
She's a straight up conservative. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that she do that affect a lot of our African people from Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean and Africa, is that she come with a thing that if someone in Britain marry to someone who is not from the EU area, meaning the Caribbean, Africa, and so on, that if them not earning about 18,600 pounds a year, them can't send for them children or them wives or husbands who they married to. Yes, it's a dangerous.
So she come like Margaret Thatcher, man. She's another Margaret Thatcher in the making.
Exactly.
All right, let me ask you, all the black community in England see the exit thing, all them. Can't remember me that talk first. You didn't say you would like them stay. You would prefer them stay.
Yeah, because of what I said with the EU legislation in terms of workers' rights and benefits and protection for the National Health Service and thing. Because what is interesting is that a UN report has condemned Britain, the David Cameron regime and so, for the inequalities and sufferations brought onto the vast majority of people in Britain. The inequalities thing. A UN commission has denounced the David Cameron regime because of the austerity measures of pressuring the disabled and other people who are sick, and also workers in terms of rights and things, has contributed into having a society where there is much more inequality. And the Tories like talk about that they can deal with money properly. Well, it's the national debt is now the biggest in history under the George Osborne and David Cameron regime. The national debt is standing at 1.7, not billion, trillion pounds.
Enough money that's
trillion pounds.
That's all like America with America.
Exactly. So talking about they would make things better, they have made things worse. You know, and what a lot of people have found out, including our people, but not like me and others who were really reading the situation, is that they were conned by the lies of Boris Johnson and Farage and others who said that they should vote to leave because they found out that they had no solutions, as I and people like Jeremy Corbyn and others had pointed out, and so on. They had no solutions, and this is why when the leavers who campaigned and conned so many people to vote for leaving, that Farage, him resigned.
Him resigned immediately.
And, yes, he resigned as leader of UKIP, that racist party. And Boris Johnson got cold feet when Gove said he's going to run because he's not fit for leadership. So they put people in the mess and then run away. And now Theresa May has put him as the foreign secretary. A buffoon like that.
But how she balance not wanting to leave yet still electing a man who was the leader of wanting to leave? How she balance that up?
Well, what happened is that she's trying to maintain the unity of the Tories, because as much as them have them differences with each other, and this is something that Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey Jr. and others have told us, Kwame Ture, is that no matter what differences Europeans have amongst themselves, when it comes on to them common interests, them close ranks.
Well, you see that with Hillary and Sanders today?
Precisely. Typical example. So many of his key hardcore supporters are totally
against him now
and annoyed with him.
But I know some white ladies where may have in communication with, in a Jamaica, and them say there's no way them when name Bernie I go endorse Sandler. As a matter of fact, I want to heal up Miriam from Negril now, because me and her every day me get up, me ask her, I say, she say Bernie God and all. She said no, he go still have a chance to win the election. I when she said the thing, go fair away, she still has a Bernie.
Yes.
What happened now is that she has said, I hope them lock up Hillary. But no, me tell her, I say, but him going go endorse wait name because them go close ranks according to what you say.
Yes, and which is what he did. Yeah, and which is what he did, because even the Green Party in the States made overtures to him and said, listen,
you mean Bernie?
Join with us.
Not Bernie at all.
Yes, Bernie, yes, Bernie. Yeah. Bernie, because, them have a Green Party in the States, so, what I mean? They said to him, don't give up the fight. Join with us, because there's no difference between Hillary, because Hillary is a fox, while Trump is a wolf. The Malcolm X example, both of them are racist. And what happened in terms of Hillary Clinton, she's proven by her works in causing the wars in Syria, in Libya with the killing of Gaddafi and others. She's a warmonger, and she's also a thief, along with her husband, the boy, the Bill Clinton, who thief up billions of dollars of money that they claim them foundation collect for African people in Haiti. You see? So she people have no excuse. Bernie has no excuse, because she has a track record of doing things. At least with Donald Trump, the dump, he has not been in any political position to do anything, even though we know his mindset and thing. But with Hillary Clinton, no one has any excuse, because she has shown by her behavior what she is. She's a racist. She remember that she referred to our youths, African youths in the States, boys, as super predators,
But she didn't make so much prison for so much ones in a prison right now. No, she did.
No, her husband, the 3 strikes on your house that has destroyed the lives of so many African
people,
families in the States, where we have a lot of our African fathers and so in prison for life. She and her husband working in tandem as racists. Right?
Well, all right.
And trying to colonize Africa
All right.
And that type of thing.
Wait, no. I could go back to the England vibe, that's all, you see? All right.
Yes.
So, another woman, president, prime minister of England, she now drafting the exit man as a one.
Yeah, Boris, yeah.
All right. Cameron resigned. From your standpoint, where you think I got up now? You think is Jamaica? You think that Britain are going to move forward now more progressively for Britain, or them are going to get it going to deteriorate?
No, things are gonna be worse. I mean, it's gonna be a harder fight for the vast majority of people, because what happened while they were in the EU, certain grants in terms of money and assistance. You see, like for example, with scientific research and that type of thing, a lot of that money that used to come through the EU fund cut off now, and a lot of other things. So things are gonna be rougher and tougher, and that we as African people, we always feel the brunt of any pressure. Last hired, first fired.
Yes.
We feel the brunt at all times. This is the racist nature of European racist global imperialism. Yes, exactly. It has never changed. Whatever differences them have it as family differences. Yes, them kill each other and so on. But when it comes on to us as Africans, they always close ranks. Always close ranks.
You didn't hear the Malcolm X speech I make when he said sitting around the table, don't make your diner. You have to
don't make your diner. Yes, of course. But we've been listening to Malcolm X albums and reading the books from the 60s when we are go Kingston Technical.
But we are listening to them now. It come like him could have said today and it's still relevant.
No, him could have say it today. It always relevant because the truth is the reality. It is. But it applies equally.
I may have that problematical. I find problem with it that a man said something 50 years ago, and obviously things no better then because him still say it and now and it sound like to them that say it. And when we play the thing a while ago about the situations of blacks in America, according to them statistics.
It's worse.
It's worse.
It's worse.
You know what I mean?
Because Obama was used as a sedative to con those Africans who were not thinking, who were caught up in emotionalism. A lot of our African people, just to see a so-called black president gave them a form of mental ejaculation.
Yeah, man. Seriously.
Yes. Mentally they ejaculated because they substituted emotionalism for realism, not wanting to deal with the realities of life. Because when you're dealing, if you are really serious, you deal with the bread and butter issues of life. Yeah. You don't deal with a guy or a girl wear a nice suit or dress and they're so-called good-looking or they look nice and they talk nice.
Yeah.
It's stupid people who think that way. But the sad reality is a lot of our people are stupid politically uneducated. And why you think you get so much fight? For example, why you think I the Mandingo get so much fight and people like us? Because there are a lot of our people who do not want to be educated. They don't want to be educated about the realities.
Some of the biggest fight against where we are dealing with us now is black people.
Exactly. They are the internal enemies, and that is why I say we cannot support people simply because they belong to our African race. Because some of them are the internal enemies who work on behalf of the races for peanuts and crumbs. That. Because look Jamaica, where you and I born and where we are come from. Almost all the politicians in Jamaica, PNP and GLP, know absolutely nothing about their own African history.
Look, man, we just attacked a while ago.
And they have, and not only that, And if you try to get them to study their own African history in Jamaica and in Africa, they don't want to know and feel offended.
We just talked a while ago, say, none of these leaders, all them do is draw from England and slam bomb a political process that can't work amongst black people.
Exactly.
Draw from the religion, slam bomb Christianity, but still not, I mean, my great-grandmother prayed to Jesus, my grandmother prayed to Jesus, my mother, all of them dead, and we nowadays are praying to Jesus still, and it now work as a collective body. And then now when I say, watch a man, why we don't have no political leader who study African communities and African ideas before the Arabs and the Europeans go there? Because we add structures there. Them don't make us feel that we have structure. We add structures, we have family structure, which is the main thing right now we broke down amongst black people. Now. When we did have a structure, and really and truly, we never have no war in Africa. We fight on the basis of religion. Arabs and Europeans come to Africa with them religious fighting. We never did a fight war over religion.
You are totally correct. You are totally and completely correct with what you have just said. And what it goes to show is that the politicians that we have had in Jamaica, almost every one of them are not leaders, but they are misleaders. They have misled our people because they themselves are totally mentally enslaved.
Them terrible, man. They're terrible.
Very anti-African. Very anti-African. They are not leaders. They are misleaders. They have taught our people to hate their African selves, their African features, their African skin, their hair, etc. This is their mentality. And look, for example, we have two daily papers in Jamaica, the Observer and the Gleaner. These papers, you read them every day for years upon years and so. These papers promote anti-African culture, and they are not for the promotion of positive African examples and so on. They are not. On the TV stations, the same type of thing. On almost all the radio stations in Jamaica, it is the same type of thing. Your program is one of the very rare exceptions to the rule. But the vast majority of the radio stations in Jamaica are not about promoting the development and the progress and the positive self-esteem of African people. They are anti-African.
Definitely. Anyway, we have to move the
And this is why so many of our people in Jamaica continue to kill each other, murder each other, fight against each other, because they have been taught to hate themselves. So whenever they see anyone looking like themselves as Africans, they seek only to destroy. This is why we have this problem in Jamaica of so much murders and so much other atrocities, because the vast majority of Africans in Jamaica have been taught to hate their African selves. So whenever they see a reflection of themselves, which are other Africans in Jamaica, and it's the same thing in the rest of the world, they seek to destroy, and they do destroy. And this is why we, Mutabaruka, have to do what we have to do. Our work is non-stop. Non-stop, because we have to fight to preserve our African race.
We have to move and
to make it free.
Yes, yeah. Yeah?
Hey,
Bless
Muta.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, my listen, man.
Hey, what's going on here?
Who this?
This is Dice from L.A.
Okay, alright.
Yeah, what's going on?
Cutting edge, go on.
Yeah, man, I know that. I mean, I'm calling. I mean, from the last time I called was like,
yeah, man, me remember,
back in June. Yeah, man, June 22nd. Yo, anyway, so, look, I want to touch a little bit here, because, I'm really considering, coming down there, and I just need to find the time and the venue that we can talk, because we got to talk to our political leader. I agree with Mandingo that we cannot have Jamaican government bypassing our African ancestry, our African history. Do you know that I just discovered a few months ago that Jamaican people are from West Africa and we're Ghana people?
You
just
discovered that?
Yes.
Why you
and it's so embarrassing that is. Watch it. Hold on. It's so embarrassing that is. Why wasn't I not taught that when I was a kid in Jamaica? You see how embarrassing that is? Because I'm so nosy. As a kid, I used to study a lot, read a lot when I was in Jamaica, and I grew up to be a man who still keep those same practices. You know, we Jamaicans, we love to study everything. And this is embarrassing that me now, off in my 40s, and I am just discovering that why is it that Jamaican government Negroes who are from Africa don't teach these things? Do you know that the Chinese know their history? The Jews know their history, which they're not Jews in the damn ways. The white people know their history. Everybody can know their history, but us, we black people. Do you know that they forbid black to study their history here in America? As you tell me, Jamaica is a mostly all-black country, and we are not studying our history. Why are we studying white men?
Hold on. I'm going to say something to you. It's not true that white people know them history, you know. Whole heap of white people don't know them history. Whole heap of white people don't know history. Trust me upon that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? A lot of them know that. Well, some of them might not know, but some of them know that they're Caucasian. They come from the Caucasus Mountain. Some of them, majority of them know that, and of course they try to hide that. You see, our history being hidden. I tell you something, Jamaican people. Listen up, Jamaican people. If anybody who we are going to vote into power do not know African history, no Jamaican history from Ghana, don't vote them in. Let the people rise against the government until they learn to do what they're supposed to do for the people. You are in power for the people, not for yourself, and not to get the hush money from the white man either. And trust me, we know about it.
The people them don't know them history neither, so how they going to vote for somebody who themselves have no history? The people
that's the reason why I was saying, Mota, the last time I talked. Men like me and you, and anybody else, Sizzler and Capleton and all those, Lucian and those guys who know our African descent, our history, we need to pressure the government to put these things in there. We need to know about our own people. This is embarrassing. I'm a 40-year-old man, and I just learned that we're from West Africa.
Well, you should have listened to Cutting Edge long time, man. I go up on YouTube. You didn't know that from your 20.
When Cutting Edge was coming. When Cutting Edge was starting, I was still on this Christian garbage.
Well, that means if you did listen from your 30, you didn't know, say, African, Jamaican people come from Ghana.
But you see what happened, Muta? The church tell us not to pay attention to the Rasta. Rasta man now no church. Not Rasta man this and Rasta man that. But if it wasn't for the Rasta man, a black man like me, which I'm not a Rasta anyways, but I would never know about guys like Marcus Garvey. I would never know about our king over there in Ethiopia. It's because of Capleton. It's guys like you who mentioned this. And because our government, these people who are taking hush money from the white men to murder our people in Jamaica, to put guns in Jamaica, yes, they are doing that. And we found that out. Me and my friends don't find it out. Full-blood, half-blood Jamaicans. We found out what they're doing down there in Jamaica. And that's some people who are innocent. We need to rise against the government to do the right thing down in Jamaica and stop killing our black people. I don't see the Chinese people getting killed down there. And trust me, in the Chinese homes down there, if Chinese up here, they're pushing so much drugs in there and they get a pass. And you tell me that some Jamaican guy, some black guy, going to move to a city with some marijuana, which is naturally healing anyways, and you're going to tell me the police going to shoot him up? And you're telling me the Chinese get a pass? Let me tell you something. The reason why the Chinese have their stores down there and business is because they're pushing drugs down there. You can't hide it from me because I have Chinese friends up there who move drugs in this damn state.
Yeah, but Regine, a long time the Chinese them there still, you know.
Yeah, and guess what? This is black and Indian land. That's Jamaican land.
No, we are talking as pertaining to drugs. May I tell you, say a long time, the Chinese them there, long time, from indentured labor days.
That's how they get wealthy down there. Because that's how they get wealthy here.
No, but we like say them have push drugs and that's where them come for do. It's like I said, them come for put drugs down here.
I'm not saying that they come to push drugs down there, but I'm telling you something. My thing is my people, my own black people. You tell me you're going to shoot somebody because he's smoking some grass, marijuana, but the Chinese can get a pass. And they have weed. Come on, man. That ain't fair. That ain't fair. And guess what?
Wait, don't say a while ago about the Chinese. Wait, don't say.
What I'm saying to you, right here in America, right here in California, they have medical marijuanas up in here, right? Some of the biggest pushers of it is the Chinese and the Koreans, right? Pushing the marijuana here. And you're telling me, here's a Raymond Price, one of the rising stars down there. At least he has some sense in Parliament. He said, look here, I make a move towards Parliament so that way the black people are getting arrested. For what? It's fucking little joint. This thing, I can understand that it was a substance that was killing people. But you tell me it's some weed. You smoke a little weed and the police will arrest you for that? Did you realize that God put it on the planet? Do you know that Imhotep, a Negro in Egypt, or should I say Kemet, the real name of Egypt, he used marijuana for healing. He used opium for healing. So he can perform his surgery on the people. And you're telling me that something that God created, are you saying, Jamaican government, that God is stupid because he put marijuana on there? Marijuana, first of all, marijuana is good for people with cancer. And people who have AIDS, it's good for them too. So what are you doing, Jamaican government? If you don't have no sense, get your ass out of Parliament. Because these are the issues that we black people have to deal with over and over because we got stupid government. And half of them are taking hush money from the white man, from America too. And that's the reason why Jamaica society is breaking up right now, because we listen to white men.
So what do you think about we are going to America now with the Black Lives Matter thing? Since I know you're the open.
Here's what happened. These white men are some racist men in America. They're killing our people here. Me and my friends that we are on the front line fighting also there. Wherever blacks are, we man.
You take part in the demonstration, then? You take part in the demonstrations?
Yes, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Them all people, you know. It bothers me when they see that happen.
Then me not see you on the TV. But me not see you on the TV.
No, man. Muta, let me tell you something. Certain things. Wait. Do you really think my name is Dice? Really? My name is not Dice. I have a real name. And do you really think that this number I'm calling from is really real? No. Anonymity is your best friend. You don't make everybody know who you are. You can wield power. That's why a lot of people wield power from behind the government. You wield things from behind the scene. Anonymity. Okay. So therefore, yes, of course, I'm among those people, and I'm fighting, and I'm pressing with people who are in certain circles to make certain things happen. So therefore, right now, you hear my voice. You never see my face. And I am trying my very best right now I hope that Jamaican government hear me. Because my thing is this. You know what? We have
to go though, but they might hear you, man, but you have to go. We have to go.
All right. I'm sorry. I want to say some more things.
Yeah, I don't know if I can end the confusion and have my mind speak about.
Wow, no confusion.
Yeah. But as a youth, I grew up still now as a search for God, you know. And
you search for God?
Yeah.
So much fire, you know?
Or whatever, you know, but then tell myself I search for God, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm born in this western part of the world, I want to learn about Christianity, but I can't seem to break my mind.
From the Christian thing?
And I don't really say Christian thing, you know, I'm not really think like a Christian, you know, but it's like it's shadow over here that a Christianity is the right thing. And I tell you, I agree, because we start Christianity, the Egyptians start Christianity, but we should probably get confused. Is this God or them called Jehovah now?
Judeo-Christianity, that?
Judeo-Christianity.
Which part you get the Jehovah from is Judaism. And
Judeo-Christianity. You know, hear so good about that.
I say, which part you get the Judeo-Christian, the Jehovah business from? is from Judaism. So what Christianity does is intertwine Judaism with Greek thinking and call it Christianity. Now, where you have to do now, you have to go outside of the box now. Because there's other disciplines that we really don't study. You have to study other religion and other cultures. You have to look into other religion and other culture now and figure out why is it that you Ulamp and where you Ulamp and if where you Ulamp and where you Ulamp and make any legitimate sense to you.
It doesn't make no sense to me.
So where the confusion there? Tell me where the confusion there.
They say there is Jehovah God. I woke up on a story, the Enlil and the Enki story now about the Mesopotamian gods. Right?
The Mesopotamian gods?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And it tell us the same God, what them call, it's a story about two men from another existence or another dimension. Or
Yeah.
Them come on earth and they say them need people for mind gold so they make man. Yeah, but you see the Enlil, in a Mesopotamia, when we read it still, it's like, he means the God for the black-headed people. I don't know if you interpret that or what you think about it, but that I read. That's what I'm titled, what them say in the house, the Enlil. And the man said the same God Enlil and the same God Jehovah people are talking about.
Yeah, but people tell you also that the same God, when them say Allah, is the same Jehovah too. And people tell you say it's one God. So it's just different name. The problem with that is that it's one God with different name, but everybody believes that the way how them go towards that God is the way they're supposed to go.
Yeah, which me not have a problem with that. Even Sister Ellis put a thing upon her where she was closure, so said the fingers of loving God or whatever is like everybody try to express themselves to God, and God is spread out himself all over the world. God not just the one place.
Yeah.
I said, these are my people, these are the chosen people out there.
That's why I know that God is a concept rather than really an actual thing. It's a concept. Every man have a different concept of what is or who is or what it is.
But I try from my mind which part come from, which part the original man come from, which part who make we.
So where you want to know that for?
You don't know how to serve him the right way?
No. So who per earth can tell you which part man come from and who make that man? Because you have scientists who tell you say it's evolution bring man.
Yeah, that's a choice there.
So if you're going to look for God now, you have to be with people that tell you say you have to go look for God, because God no last really. Him last. So any man tell you say you have to go find God, you have to be skeptical of him still.
Yeah.
You know? So when I say now, if God is omnipresent, why you supposed to look for God? You know what omnipresent mean?
Yeah, everywhere.
Then you can't look for God then.
Not at all.
Because there's nowhere God not is then. If God is omnipresent, there's nowhere God not is.
Then why man always seek to find some
because if don't want to face
or something what they call now.
Because it's nature
tangible,
man.
something tangible to express God and say this is God.
Because man is trying to solve the mystery of man existence on earth.
Yeah.
And because him don't want to look to the existence of man on earth and round him start to now conceive something outside of where him say round him. You see? Because right now, here is a man believe in a invisible God, but a destroy nature, which is a manifestation of that invisible God. So you can't say you love God where you can't see. Yes, where you can't see you destroy it.
Right. Yeah, you know.
So where you can't see. Yeah. So you have to really examine the idea and the concept of God, where we learn as youth are growing up in the Western world. So in the name of Jesus. Because most of the people them who are talking about God and the invisible God, them don't really respect life in its true essence and form on earth. That's why it's a man that kill all sorts of animal and creature and in relationship kill himself too.
But as I said at Muta, I always wonder, when people say they know God, What make them feel say them know God and you don't know
You
God?
ask me, Virgin, I don't know God. I don't know. I don't have no illusion about God, Virgin.
Come, I wonder, someone is so Christian is so convinced that they know God and then getting a spirit and then start tongues.
Yeah,
and
that is ritual.
all sort of reaction and all.
Yeah.
And say know God. You feel God.
I don't know about knowing God, I know, say, there's no way I can be out of God. If I ever use the term God then, as an omnipresent being, you can't not have God. Or can you be omnipresent? If God is omnipresent, that means I'm always in God and God is always in me. There's no way I can go that there's not God. So why I'm looking for God? What you going to get out of looking for God? That means you totally I get rid of the idea of an omnipresent God.
Mm-hmm.
If God is all powerful, which is omnipotent, look how we are going in the earth, and it'll get worse and worse.
But some might just say a fulfillment of scripture or whatever.
Yeah, watch a man. Scripture fulfilled for the man, write it down on the paper, man. You know, see, right now, every time something happens in our, you say, see it there. You see where I go on now, you have some man where you sit down until you say, it's in the Bible about where you see the 5 policemen them get shot, Yeah, because brother write on the internet about it's a retribution for the gay people them in America, and it's God that show them at last said this and this and that. Long San Francisco have more gay people than we in Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, nothing like, wait there. You think say Sodom, wait there. You think say Sodom and Gomorrah is big like Jamaica?
I don't know what's there.
No, man, I tell you. The place where them say Sodom and Gomorrah, me go there,
Yeah. Me,
personally, me and Tony Rebel, go there. We are drive past and the man say, see Sodom, we are there to the city of Sodom and Gomorrah there. And from the thing lick it, no grow there, so again, it's in a desert,
Yeah.
Yeah, so the land there. And me I tell you, say, it never, to be real, it never big like Kingston. So when you talk about San Francisco, San Francisco is the capital of gayism,
Yeah.
Then come no brimstone and lightning and thunder, yeah. And then the story so warped. 2 guys come a man now, him is the God, him is the fella. Lot is supposed to be this godly man. And 2 angels come a female and them have 2 daughters in there. And the man them from Sodom come and say, bring the 2 man them out and make a do what we want to do. And this man I give the crowd, him 2 daughters them.
Yeah.
What kind of story that? And then him end up breeding 2 daughters them.
Daughter them, yeah.
A crazy story. And the man I tell you about him the junk. You can't, watch a man, for you get out somebody pregnant, you have to have an erection. You can't get a woman pregnant. Let me say God black.
But I don't know if he's black or white,
But if God is that spirit, or going to be black? I mean, a madness.
Or
white. Like people say, white light. Light no white. Are the bulb light? Are the bulb white or the light?
Well, you can't see light. You see the reflection of the light.
Yeah, well, that me I say no. So, you I say no, brethren.
Yeah.
Just examine where them tell you about the God where them I tell you must worship. And see if what them I do fall in the category of where them I tell you. You understand? Because you see, look on the world today. Look on the world today. With all these whole heap of God talk and praying talk and this attack and thing. And tell me if the world is better. Because most of the wars them that fight in the earth, even to this day, a big war going on in Sudan now between Southern Sudan and Sudan, where there's a new system going on over there. So it's Muslim a fight against Christians.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the war them is religious wars are going on in the name of this God. So which part God there and sit down and laugh after them now? You must have to laugh if a man a fight over you and I say, I'm here fight for you, you fight, and not kill one another. So we not kill one another for. In the name of Allah, in the name of God, in the name of a madness. A madness, brethren. Anyway, we have to move.
Yeah, but more so one thing, so we need to reclaim whatever white people take from we.
Like what?
With knowledge. With knowledge, we need to reclaim back with knowledge.
Yeah, man, we claim it, man. We are claim it. We are claim it right just up on the cutting edge.
Yeah, bless it.
Yeah, Irie, give thanks. We are claim now. And we're going to play this. We're going to play this again. You know, so we are playing the things them over and over. Yeah, we want to play them over and over. This is which part the so-called Judaism get them so-called 10 commandments from, where them say God give Moses 10 commandments. This is where them get it from. 42 from the Egyptian Book of the Dead are coming forth by day. And if you hear about the Egyptian Book of the Dead in all movie like The Mummy or Scorpion King and them movie there, them almost make the Egyptian Book of the Dead come like some weird thing. That's why people never want to read the Lawrence book. Sir, you can't tell some Jamaican about the Lawrence. They don't know that the Lawrence is a real man, you know. Them think that the Lawrence are some weird things you get involved in when you read the Lawrence book. The Lawrence was a publisher, I think, at Chicago every day. And them deal with certain Hinduism and culture. That's why a man had call me one night and I say Hinduism and everything. And everything else and everything except Christianity. But this 42 negative confession in the book of the coming forth by day, or the Egyptian Book of the Dead. The white people them call it the Egyptian Book of the Dead. There's a man named Wallace Budge who was a keeper for the London Museum, British Museum. He was very responsible for preserve some of the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I can call it Egyptian Book of the Dead. We call it coming forth. Well, 42 negative confessions in there. And these negative confessions is where you say in relationship to yourself as opposed to the last prayer, as opposed to the 10 commandments, say, thou shalt not. Thou mean you must not. This is a command given from Moses. You must not. Well, in the negative confession, you say, stick it by yourself and say, not have I done this, not have I done that. And if you know, so you do it, your conscience going bother you. And I'm thinking the ma'at, where weigh and balance what you say on a scale. And when them put a feather on one side and where you say on the other side, and if the scale tip, you have to go back and start over your whole eternal life. You understand? It's just so it go. So, we're going to play this thing here. We have played for years. But every time we play it, it's so new to a whole heap of people. This is the Mahat.
In the place of Ma'at, we anciently lived 42 divine principles. We made these 42 declarations of righteousness. Not have I done wrong. Not have I despoiled. Not have I robbed. Not have I slain. Not have I defrauded the offerings. Not have I diminished oblations. Not have I despoiled the things of interred. Not have I spoken lies. Not have I wasted food. Not have I afflicted any. Not have I wasted my seed. Not have I made to weep. Not have I eaten my heart. Not have I transgressed. Not have I acted deceitfully. Not have I desolated the plowed land. Not have I been an eavesdropper. Not have I set my mouth in motion against any man. Not have I raged except with a cause. Not have I defiled the wife of a man. Not have I defiled the husband of a woman. Not have I polluted myself. Not have I caused terror. Not have I committed offense. Not have I inflamed myself with rage. Not have I made myself deaf to the words of right and truth. Not have I caused grief. Not have I acted insolently. Not have I stirred up strife. Not have I judged hastily. Not have I been an eavesdropper. Not have I spoken overmuch. Not have I harmed. Not have I done evil. Not have I cursed the king. Not have I fouled water. Not have I made my voice haughty. Not have I cursed the Creator. Not have I committed theft. Not have I defrauded the offerings of the intergroup. Not have I carried off the offerings from the beatified one. Not have I wasted food of the infant. Not have I sinned against the interrer of the town. Not have I slaughtered animals. These 42 oracles of Ma'at were the basis from which Moses received the 10 Commandments when he went to school in the temples of Anu, in the Kemetic nation of Tawi, in the Nile Valley, in the land now miscalled Egypt.
Yeah, so in a Psalms 137, where it says, by the rivers of Babylon, you know, the Israelites, they don't have a problem with the so-called enemies around that surround them. Till one of the point now, the writer who are right that say that them enemies shall take them children and dash it against the walls. Imagine that. Because by the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down and there we wept to remember Zion. And in the last part, when nobody not sing about the part there, the part is not sung. I never hear nobody mention the part there, the Psalms yet. But them say, your enemies, and, you know, say, my brethren find it for me. Him say, remember all the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed, officially be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Officially be that take it and dash it thy little ones against the stones. This is the ones them going to be very happy to take your children them and dash it against the stone. And guess what? The Lord going to stand up there and watch this happen and don't do nothing about it. Oh, this is the cutting edge. And the cutting edge and RFM, they are going through the closing. We want to yell up all the ones them who stay with you as usual. We want to yell up me hungry right on Main Street as when I watch you with us. We want to yell up Tracy. We want to yell up Brian. You know, tomorrow we're hoping to interview Omar Johnson, one of the guests them that will be here, the speaker them that will be here. Same bridge, you know, here we just play a while ago. And not falling in love with politicians. We want to also tell you that we're going to interview, well, we're going to bring up back some things where look like it get disappear with certain things, you know. Some people are going like them want to make things go like say it's solved and it's not solved. Well, we're coming up to really bring it to keep it in the light, in the focus. You understand? We want to keep certain things in focus that it don't get lost in the dark. Turn on some light on it. So, yeah. So we are going to, we're not taking more calling on the program are done. We'll be here again from 2 to 5:45 with the Stepping Razor, the art of war.